Welcome to the Live Full, Work Fun podcast. This is the show to encourage you to live your life to the fullest and do fun work that fuels your lifestyle. Hi, I'm your host, Gayla Scrivener. Every week, you'll be introduced to amazing guests, useful resources, and inspirational stories. You'll discover opportunities and perspectives to shape your version of living full and working fun. Well, hi there. Welcome to the show, where we explore topics that help you create your lifestyle to live full and work fun. Today's episode is all about turning a negative situation into an opportunity for growth and success. This got me thinking a lot lately because of a situation that has happened to me. And it got me thinking, and I wonder do you immediately react to something and immediately think, oh my gosh, why is this bad thing happening? And it just put a wrinkle into what you're doing. And maybe you react to that situation and just try to quickly put a Band-Aid on it and not get to the root of the problem for long-term growth or success. Many times when something happens, we have this knee-jerk reaction, and it can often lead to short-term solutions that may not benefit us long-term for, well, in my situation, for growth and scaling of my business. But sometimes we just act into emotion and just not make the right decisions in the moment for long-term solutions. And I wanted to share a story with you of what recently has happened to me. As you know, one of our core services for our Scrivener Solutions clients is social media management. We do a lot of social media. And it's important for us to be efficient, relevant, and have great quality for our clients' messages. We believe and we think of ourselves, and our clients think of us as an extension of their operations when it comes to their marketing. So, having a great relationship is super important. Well, as you can imagine, as most companies and individuals do over time, you always want to improve and evolve as you grow. And we had improved and evolved as the social media landscape evolves as well. And we had improved our processes over time, and I'm very proud of that. Way back when we first started out as a virtual assistant company, we would use various different accounts for social media scheduling. It just depended on what our clients were already using, or we may make a suggestion, when they came on. So one client might have been using Hootsuite, another Buffer, another nothing at all, and we would suggest something. But as we grew and we made this transition into becoming an agency, an implementation team for our clients that focused on implementing their marketing, I began converting every one of our clients onto a common social media management system, a scheduling system, and everybody was on the same system. This was a few years ago, and it was in time to invest in software that would help us become more efficient and be able to pull reports and analyze and just adjust better. And I found such a software, took the plunge in implementing it within our company. And that was my first step in going in that direction. At first, things were all right. This was our first software that we were trying to grow in this manner and be more efficient in our social media management and having the common system. And it was affordable. And like I said, at first, things were all right. We were transitioning, and we felt we became more aligned as a team. Our efficiencies went up. But over time, the Scrivener team, we just grew more and more frustrated with the issues that arose with the software. We felt like it was kind of holding us back a little bit. As we started our third year using the software, we began to evaluate the need to make a switch. But quite honestly, there were so many other things that we needed to do at the time that a few months back I decided, I just didn't want to deal with a transition of software for the social media management. And I decided to hold off on making the change because I needed to focus on other priorities, or I thought I needed to focus on other priorities, that we wanted to tackle first. And I didn't want to rock the boat with our budget. And I just brushed it under the rug and, continued to develop more workarounds with our system and pressed on. And there's something about the familiar, right? And we've been using this system for 3 years, and we had our systems and people knew what their role was. And the thing is, though, I think I pushed it under the rug for so long because I wasn't really in it much. I didn't have to deal with the issues on a day-to-day basis. I'm glad my team would bring up issues when they arose, but I just didn't want to deal with it. And I think as CEOs sometimes, it's just something that's a natural thing, a natural human behavior. If you're not in it all the time, then you may delay taking action. So like I said, we continued, and my team is super great. They adjust, they figure out workarounds. They did their job and was doing a great job. But then something happened just ever so recently, and that changed my mind to drop everything. Recently, I was on a phone call with one of my team members, and she informed me that she couldn't get into the system. She's like, do we not use it anymore? And I was like, no. Well, it turned out the access to get in was totally blocked. And as I looked into it further, my account was suspended. All right. This stopped us in our tracks to get any of our clients' upcoming month's social content calendars scheduled. And at first, I kind of panicked, just a tiny bit. It was a Friday evening, and there was no way to get a response from their support until the upcoming Monday. And I already knew their support history was not that great. So I was not looking forward to having to deal with support, even if I got an answer. So this account was one that I paid a basic plan for on an annual basis. And as we grew, there were these add-ons that I could purchase on an annual basis, and they had all different dates of start dates and when they would recur. So I had really no clue, or I lost track of when things and how much were recurring. And it was just a mess. And these payments, you know how reoccurring payments happen, especially if they're a year long. Cards change, cards expire, accounts get compromised, so you change them, just different things. So I'm sitting there on that Friday evening, and my account was suspended. I knew that there may have been an issue with that main reoccurring payment. I just had that gut feeling. It's like something is off there. But I had never, ever received notification that there was a problem with a payment going through. And honestly, I was wondering, it's like, where did I was expecting it on one of my accounts, and I wasn't seeing it, so I was wondering what was going on. Upon further investigation, I figured out that main account was on a card that I had canceled way back in the fall, and now that it was trying to recur, okay, I understand. The payment did not go through, but I was frustrated because I didn't get any communication. And I also remember one of my problems with this software was that I was, quite frankly, frustrated with their billing screen because there was no clear method of knowing exactly what plan I was on, and there wasn't a list of past invoices or even a method of checking or updating my payment information. I was looking through the account, a few months back, and I threw up my hands and just like, this is taking too long, and I felt like I just gave up, and it's like, I'm just gonna move forward. I can't make hide nor hairs, but I'm just gonna move forward. and continue using the software because these recurring payments are actually doing it. Now, whether that's right or wrong, but when you have so many responsibilities, what is going to be dropped, right? So I chose at that time just not worry about it. I admit I should have contacted their support and raised my concerns about the billing screen and the confusion that I had with it, or the lack of history on my account. But like I said, I just swept it under the rug, and I didn't want to even deal with it because just going through their support was just frustrating. It was just frustrating, and that was just based on past experience. Instead of dealing with it in the past, yes, my account was suspended. Okay, so my anger level wasn't like at the top, but I had a little bit of panic because, oh my goodness, my staff cannot work, and luckily it is a weekend. That staff member was going to work on that Friday evening and knock out several of our clients' work, but we were just stopped in our tracks. I went in and they gave me options to resubscribe to get it going, but that Friday night, the option that I thought that I needed was grayed out, and that was the option that I thought that fit with what I had, plus all the add-ons. It was forcing me to subscribe to this higher plan, and it just didn't sit right because I thought, man, I'm going to be over purchasing. So with those choices I needed grayed out, I just decided to wait. Having the right payment option I thought I needed grayed out on that Friday night gave me that pause to think. I did not immediately subscribe to the plan that was available to me because it just didn't seem right. So getting that pause in there to think over the weekend, I think was the best thing. I didn't let emotions run away with me. And remember, at first, I had this knee-jerk reaction of, crap, this is a terrible thing. We're blocked out and can't complete our clients' work. Oh my goodness, what's happened to our data in there? Is anything going to publish? Oh, what are we going to do? We're backed into a corner, and I'll be forced to purchase this plan that's just not right for us, and I'm stuck with my frustrations with the software company forever. I'm just, that's my knee-jerk reaction. But I let my initial reaction simmer, and I began to think about the positives of this happening right at this very moment. With me being locked out of this software for that weekend before my support emails, would be answered, or hopefully answered, it forced me to take action and make some decisions. And my first decision was not to immediately purchase a subscription that I thought was wrong. I allowed myself to be okay to be locked out for the entire weekend and into the following Monday. Over the weekend, I thought about how glad that I was of being locked out, actually. And it was such a good thing. It was time to make a change because we've been doing a lot of things in our business, but I grew to think that this software for our social media department was actually holding us back. However, I did not want to make a hasty change and just go to a different system and the same situation arises. Now, I can live with this system for the short term. That was my decision. I can live with this for the short term. With it going down and with the lack of customer service and the responsiveness is so poor that I want to be with a vendor that I feel like we can have this partnership with. And I don't want to be with such a big vendor that I'm just a little speck in their customer base. Our whole business is relationship based. And it takes that personal touch to have the long-term relationships and value that we have with our clients. So I expect the same relationship from the vendors that I choose to help service their content, especially social media because the volume is super high. So here's the thing. I paused. I rejoiced. I rejoiced at this happening because it forced me to make the decision of finding different companies to serve this need that we have and look at where I want our social media department to be in 5 years. Can I find a service to fill that need? Well, sure. I know I can. But this time, I'm not just going to shop for services online and just pick one there, not really knowing the software and not really having that human interaction before I buy. This time, shopping around for this is not going to be totally financial based. The only type of service I'm going to entertain are those vendors who give demo calls and go through a demonstration of the software and see how they react and take a tour of the software. Now, yes, I could have the hands off and just do the 14-day trials because everybody's, giving 14-day trials. I wanted that human interaction of their sales folks giving me a tour, and I can ask questions to see if it fits within our company. Those companies that give demo calls and spend time in the sales process to where we can ask questions that are so much better, that help us align their services with our goals. I tell you this story because I wonder, do you immediately react to something, then try to put a Band-Aid on it, when you feel like it's something bad that happens? Do you immediately go into the negative and wonder, why is this happening and what's this immediate fix so that you can move on? Or do you try to analyze and fix the root of the problem? Or do you just try to cover it up? I think it's human nature that there are times that we do both. And in this time, I ended up spending a whole week interviewing new service providers and making the decision. I am leaving. We're actually right in the middle of transitioning from the old system into the new system and moving forward because we found that the opportunities that awarded us, all those demo calls just opened up my mind of, oh my gosh, there are some growth opportunities dependent on some of the efficiencies or the service offerings that these vendors give. They're not all the same. They're not. And I was so glad that I took that pause, did not have my knee-jerk reaction lead the way, because it's so easy to have that reaction and feel backed into a corner and feel like you have no choices. But in reality, we have choices in our mindset about any given situation. After demoing, I am super glad to have made a swift decision to take the plunge into transition. I think that the key is to take a pause and evaluate situations before making a decision. Yes, sometimes the deliberation may be long, sometimes it may be short, but taking that pause when something negative seemingly happens, my knee-jerk reaction is maybe to panic or quickly put emotion into a decision because I'm angry or sad or whatever, and make another short-term Band-Aid solution that's not great for the long term. I've learned that if you take a step back and look at the situation objectively, pause, you can open up other opportunities to make your life, your business, the situation better for the long term. By taking the time to evaluate and find a solution that is beneficial for the long-term growth and scaling for your business, you'll be able to achieve success in reaching your goals. Next time something negative happens, take a pause and evaluate the situation before making a decision. Remember, it's important to find a solution that is beneficial for the long-term growth and scaling of your business. Now let's continue this conversation, shall we? Hop over to Facebook and post what your biggest takeaway in today's show was in the Live Full, Work Fun Facebook group. Thanks for listening, and until next time, have a fantastic week. Live full, work fun.